print this off and give it to your CPA. Today, I want to talk about record keeping. This question, a lot of times, is a big one because majority new drivers that come to these platforms like Doordash and others do not know that they have responsibilities now as a business owner, as a self-employed and contractor. Names are various. At the end of the day, it's very simple. You're in business for yourself and you have responsibilities. And those responsibilities come with IRS, with taxes. Now, IRS code allows you to write off business expenses. Majority, and in order to do that, you need to have records. If you do not have records, how can you write those off? So first of all, I want to talk about receipts. Even though some people say, oh, you don't need to save receipts anything less than $70, I personally save everything. I take regular envelopes and I break them down by a month. So January, one envelope, February, another envelope, because you do get quite a bit of them. Like me personally, I gas up every day. That means I have 30 receipts just on gas alone. So, there's some other expenses we have as well, and you just need to collect those receipts. If you have digital receipts, I personally print them off because nothing better than having actually physical receipts. Also, I might be wrong on this. You can save them digitally right now. But with digitally, things happen. Files get deleted, hard drives go corrupt. So physical is better, and have a digital as a backup. I personally believe with those two, you always will have what you need. Now, when you're at the gas station and you're gassing up, when you got that receipt from the gas station, flip it over. Write down your vehicle mileage on that receipt. First of all, you'll know which vehicle that receipt is pertaining to, first of all, in case you have more than one vehicle. And second, you'll have record of mileage. Now, that's not all the mileage that IRS requires. My IRS requires for you to have mileage from start to the end of your shift. So you need to have some sort of a record keeping of that. There's apps out there. So definitely, download one of those apps, activate them when you start a shift, uh, stop them when you turn off the shift. Some of these apps have an option where you connect to your Bluetooth of your car, automatically will activate the shift for you. And then of the day, you just have to categorize. So there's various different options out there. Look around and see what will fit for you the best for mileage records. I also I use an app called, and give me a minute, I will let you guys know. It's a Gridwise, and the free version allows you to keep records of your mileage as well as what you received, what your mileage deduction expenses. But and then I make sure that everything of the shift aligns with the numbers. But then second thing what I do is I also use Google. Google allows you to, in a history section, allows you to have a history of mileage as well. So I will compare two, and then I will go in the spreadsheet and I'll show you guys, and then I'll record those as well. I will record the beginning of the year my mileage of the vehicle, and then at the end of the year, and I'll take images of those with my phone, so I have records of that. And also, if you have an Android phone, all your images can be uploaded to Google Photos, which they're there as long as you don't delete them. So that's another beauty part of having dual records as you proceed forward. But today specifically, I want to talk about how you can keep your digital records on a spreadsheet. Some people say, hey, I use QuickBooks. Great. I personally don't want to spend money on QuickBooks. And also, as I ran the company in Florida, uh, I developed a very complex spreadsheet as well as app-based system for literally all the operations of the company, from production all the way down to bookkeeping. So I ripped that out. It's a small portion out of that. I did a lot of adjustments yesterday, and hopefully, and also, worked on the formula. I hope I actually updated everything and only got you guys a compressed version of that. I also went through the accounting sheet list, which you will have to go and talk to your CPA and see if he wants to remove something or add something to that list, and gave you guys the basic version that you guys can use, copy, and use for yourself. So let's get into it. So here's actually the spreadsheet. It starts with the accounting, and I'll kind of go through every single page and kind of walk you guys through. So here in accounting page, you have first of all we'll start with the banks and accounts. So we have PayPal account, and cash account, Bank of America. I put in that as an example, but you can create the accounts that you have. Your credit cards for the business they're using, your bank account that you're using for the business. And IRS doesn't like you to intermingle your personal and business money. That's why you need to preferably, keep them separately, and then, once a week, once a month, write a check to yourself as a payment so you can move the money from the business account into your personal account. So, but again, I might be on some of these things wrong, because for the last time I read the IRS code in detail was 20 years ago to kind of understand the code, but now CPA does everything for me, so I don't do a lot of this stuff. But I do notice a lot of drivers are not doing nothing at all, and it's very important to do at least something. So here you would have put in your bank account, as well as here in the tabs where I have bank one, bank two, bank three. And if you guys are using PayPal, you can import PayPal report as well. Make sure that the titles here on the top, or the columns names, are matching. Otherwise, you will have issues with that. Sometimes you might have to import somewhere else, add or subtract the columns that you need, and then bring it into here by copy or paste or whatever the option is. So I know PayPal constantly does some updates, so you might have to adjust based on PayPal spreadsheet. If you don't, all you have to do is just click on that tab and hit hide sheet, and you don't have to worry. Do not delete any of this, because if you delete, formulas will stop working. Also, how to get a copy of yourself. You're going to go to File and make a copy, and it will make a copy to your Google spreadsheet, to your account on Google Spreadsheet account. So, banks. So whatever the names are here, you will actually add them here. If you have more than three banks, then the spreadsheet and code and everything would have to be updated. Then you have a type of a list: fixed assets, banks, equity, income, expenses, and so on. And then from here, you have your account. So you have your sales, if you do any sales. You have your Doordash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and you can change those based on the apps you work with. You can, insert in a row. You can add more account companies you work with. So end of the day, a year, you want to make sure that your 1099s do match your numbers. So that's why it's very important. Then you have other incomes, like you do something else, small incomes might be, cash back or something like that. I would put that under other incomes. Then you have your automobile expense. And let's actually go down the list and kind of give you guys an idea so you guys understand the automobile expense. Now, so you would have your fuel, maintenance on car washes, tires, insurance, vehicle registration, and any other vehicle related. You want to be careful, because majority all vehicle related would be expense. When you're taking a mileage deduction option, you cannot write that off as an expense as well. So you need to do one or another. Then you have a mileage deduction. So I'll show you guys how you come up with that number. Then you have tolls and parking. Those are vehicle related, which tolls or parking would be considered as separate from mileage deduction. If you choose mileage deduction, you can also, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong here, you can also use separately deduct tolls and parking. Now, you have bank fees, business and tax consulting. So let's say you went out and wanted to consult on your business, or you wanted to consult your taxes, like your CPA expenses. Those would be put in here. Business insurance, if you have any kind of business related insurance, would be put under business insurance. Corporate events. Now, here's something you want to talk with CPA, which everything you want to talk about CPA, but here's this particular. Under corporation, you can have a corporate event and actually write off the whole 100% of it. As a sole proprietor, with majority, all of you will be sole proprietor because you're not going to be opening up a corporation. You need to talk with your CPA. Can you write off a corporate event? Like Pedro is going to be doing this huge event. And in his situation, it should be tax write-off. But if he's not corporate, he needs to talk to CPA and find out is that event can be written off as a corporate event or not, as not corporate taxpayer. Education. Hey, you're watching this video and you're spending on YouTube, subscribing. All that is education. And that is a write-off. You might be going and taking special classes. You might be hiring somebody to, get you started on some of these apps. All of those is education, and they actually are write-off. So any business-related education would be write-off. Government licenses and permits. In some states, you might have to carry special licenses to do this work, especially when it comes down to taxi serve, Uber taxi, Lyft taxi. Like in New York, you might have to require some kind of, special licensing. This will be right off as well in that category. Marketing and promotion. Um, Especially this will be kind of a good one for YouTube. Sometimes we want to market our channel. This would be your marketing promotion expense. As well as I do have gifts in the bottom. So sometimes we tip our servers at the restaurant, would be written up as a gift. Meals, entertainment. Now, meals, entertainment are only that are business related. Something about meal and entertainment that you want to consider. When you get that receipt and you had a business, on the backside of the receipt, put down who attended and a kind of short version of what was spoken of. So you can have a clear record that it was truly business meal instead of a personal meal. Medical payments. Let's say you got injured while doing your work on your business. This is where you would actually do your expenses on your medical. Merchandise. Sometime we need to buy something to, like example, in taxi field. You might want to buy gums, candies, and stuff for your business. So you can turn around and resell it to your riders. That's your merchandise. And that's where I created the sales tab here on the top. So office, computer, and internet. These are the categories you would choose. Anything related to your office. Your printer, your paper clips, pens, notepads, cameras, anything that's office related, you'd actually, your computer, monitors, all that would actually go into your office expense. Even your desk, your chair, all that is office, bottled water that you're drinking at the office would be all considered as office expense. Now, I would encourage everybody to have a home office, dedicate a certain spot in your house where you would actually have would call this your office, and keep all your records, do all your office work for your business in that area, and you can actually write that area off. Talk to your CPA, but the square footage of the area where your office is at, including the walkway from the main door of the entry to the house to that office, it should be, I believe it is deductible by that square footage of from the total of your house expense. So talk to your CPA. He can explain more in detail how you calculate that and how you run it. There and the records you need to keep. Of course, I would snap some pictures just to for your records to have and file it away with your business records. So, other thing, I would recommend you having a filing cabinet where you would file everything away, and then end of the year, you'd combine it all together with your tax return and file away into a box that you would store it somewhere safe. So, rent leases or home office, as I just spoke. So, if you're renting or you're having a lease, all those would be, deductible. Repairs and maintenance. If you have to do any kind of repairs to your home office, or if you have an office or a lease, those are all deductible. Like give you an example, you have an office and you have public coming into that your home office. You also need to have a restroom access. So let's say you have to make any repair to the to the faucet or something. That would be considered as repair and maintenance of your home office. Utilities. Any business related utilities. Let's say example, your home office is 20% of your total home. That means 20% of your home electric bill would be written off as a business expense. And same thing, with water and everything else. Leasehold improvement. If you're having a lease and you're doing major improvements, like adding a wall or taking a wall out, doing anything major, those would go there. I left those in because for some of you might actually consider expanding, and as you expand, you might rent a place, and you're like, okay, I need to turn this one big room into two offices or something. So subscription, I added that as a separate from education, and talk with your CPA with all this list. He might do some adjustment and explain what goes in what category. Might remove some things or add some things, but subscription, YouTube subscription. We might have other subscription that are business related. Those you would put in there. Supplies and tools, hot bags, catering bags, everything that is that we use for our business as tools, as equipment. Your phone holder, your charger, your charging cable, whatever you're using to make your business move forward, those will go under supplies and tools. Taxes, you did pay taxes in 2021, right? Okay, that would actually go into that category there. Any other related taxes would be going there. Telephone expense, again, I recommend having a dedicated cell phone for your business, and write the 100% of that up. Now, your second phone will be your personal phone. Even sometime you might be using that for business as well. Then you want to look at and see, maybe write off, 5-10% of that as a phone expense as well. Travel expense, any business related expense, and you want to talk with your CPA particularly on this one, but give you an idea. You went on a vacation and you decided to rent a car and dash for a couple hours a day while you're on vacation. Now you turned your vacation into a business trip. Or maybe you wanted to met up and talk with some YouTubers, and you spoke about your business, your rideshare. Now you're turning that into a business. Talk with your CPA, get the direct guidelines, because remember, if you have your CPA, he's the one that's going to deal with IRS if IRS for whatever reason audits you. So make sure that both of you are on the same page, whatever you guys going to be doing. So definitely talk to your CPA and make sure that he explains to you the details, how he views on travel expense, and how you can turn that travel into a business expense. Like for me, I will be traveling to Hydro here In about a month, I will be dashing down there. I will be working. So all of that trip will become a business expense for me. Uniform. If you create within your company a uniform code now, and you follow that uniform code, now that the uniform that you're going to buy and wear will become a business expense. YouTube channel. Some of us might have YouTube channels, so any YouTube channel related expenses would also be put under YouTube channel. Gift, as I mentioned before, any gift that we create from our business to promote our business, like we're offering a tip to our servers. We are promoting. We're appreciative for them actually helping us make money by being on time, by giving that food, that delivery to us on time. We're appreciative. So it's business related gift. It's a right up. Same thing, I do $25 giveaways on YouTube. Those are gifts as well. Business related gifts are write off as well. You might get into a situation you might not know where to put something. So you'll put it under question, and then you will call up the CPA and say, "Hey, CPA, is this business related? One or I have this kind of an expense, and I'm not sure where to put it. Where would you recommend me to put it, or should I create a new category?" And then, of course, as you move money between accounts, you want to make sure that you're also assigning the account that you move the money into from that in that account. So that's why I put also the banks here at the bottom. So as we went through the list, and you guys kind of have an idea right now what that list is and where would you actually assign, what would you assign to what category, we're going to go into the bank. So you will rename those banks, and if you have only one bank, then you pretty much would hide the rest of the banks. So account number, preferably not required. Date the transaction happened or cleared, whatever you make the choice of the date to use. If it's a checking account and you wrote out a check, you would put in a check number. You would put in a description. Let's say you wrote out the check to Slavic, so you put down, Slavic, and then, something in parentheses or something, kind of giving a little short description what for you gave the check to Slavic for. Um, Amount, if it's a debit, you would actually put it in negative format. If it's a credit, let's say you put something deposit into the bank account, or you receive the payment from Doordash or other platform, you put it as a positive. Then here you would actually choose which kind of expense that is. So remember, we're just going through this list. That list right now is right here. So you would actually choose what kind of expense. So let's say this is expense. You bought airplane tickets. So, and it's a business related trip. So you put it on the travel expense. And here you would leave it empty unless you're moving the money. So actually, hold on. How did we do this account ID? Because this is a yeah, I would just put down. So let's say bank one. So we would let's say bank one is Bank of America. So then I'll just put a bank. So when you go into report, from where that the information being pulled from. So that's how we actually had that set up here. So and you would kind of go and fill all your business transactions in one by one. You can import them, and then make sure that they match here. So play with the spreadsheet. Some of you might not know how to use a spreadsheet, so you might have to take some tutorials or ask questions, and I'll create extra short videos explaining that particular what you need to do. So all based on your guys' need, I'll provide that content for you guys. So same thing, we do with bank 2, bank 3. If you have, PayPal, you would import. So here's actually how it would look from PayPal. You would have the date the transaction happened, the time transaction happened, the time zone, the from who with whom the transaction happened to, the type of transaction based on PayPal that it's completed, the currency, gross amount, if there's any fees, then the net amount. If you purchase anything on eBay or so, you might have to, some of these fields fill in it as well. And then, here the right, you would actually, select what it is. Like here I put in office expense. So I'll, select office, and here that it is a PayPal transaction. Now, in this, all of this information from bank one through PayPal, it imports directly into this sheet right here. So as you can see, all our transactions from different banks, they're all imported here. Then we see that it's a travel expense from Bank of America, um, outer, other, we have probably, let's do this. So we'll probably, let's put this one on because it's expense. Let's say business insurance would be on that one, and let's say bank two is a cash account, and this one here, let's say bank fees. I know bank fees not in $2,000, but just so for you guys to, and let's go and create another bank account here. Bank two. And here we'll select that as a bank two. That's a bank two transaction, which is actually bank three. Now we'll go to the list and update it to 3. So right now, as you can see, that it's a bank three transaction. That was cash, and that's Bank of America. That's PayPal transaction. So you can see what's where. So all of the accounts will be compiled into one. So do not edit anything into this sheet. He give you an example. I put something in here, and it came back that we have an error. So do not make any changes in this sheet. I'll probably would hide this sheet, so it kind of does not attract you to do anything. Now here is where I would put in the mileage. So make sure you know what is the mileage, and sometime within a year IRS might change the mileage rate. So right now we know it's 56, but that rate might change. So then I'll put in that what the mileage starting. So I'll take an image on January 1st of my vehicle, and I'll put it in here. At the next year of January 1st, I'll take an image here, so as you guys can see that dates the pictures were taken, and I'll put in those mileage here. So that gives me a total of how much that vehicle has driven. Then on every day that I drive for a gig, I will put in a date, how many miles driven that it was driven for gig that day, and the amount will be added up. It will be subtracted against this amount right here, and then you will get a percentage, how much you used for gig, and also will give you a dollar amount of write-off based on the deduction per mile that you put in here. You can take that amount, and then you go to profit and loss, and somewhere in this column under mileage deduction, you put that amount in. So let's say you have a $8,250 deduction, you put it in here, and then when you print this off and give it to your CPA, he will know and look and see which option it is, and you can actually you can see it yourself, and you can say, hey, I would like to use the mileage deduction instead of actual expenses. So that is so after you fill all that out, end of the year, you go through it, you verify that all the information is accurate, especially with the question mark that we put in here, your mileage, and it will give you a total for each automobile expense. So you would actually can take the total and put it up here, and you see how much is automobile expense, how much is your mileage deduction expense, and make a choice which one you want to go. So all of those would total up here, and you would actually, make choices based on the total amount. Now, you want to maybe, end of the year, you're like, oh, I need to find something. I made a transaction. Let's say I bought tires, and I need to figure out which year, or what month I bought the tires so I can find that receipt. You have a search option. So you put in from the date from which you want to search to the date that you want to, the date range. So like here we have from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And I want to search by name. So let's say I want to go by Google. Now it will show me my Google transactions, all Google transactions within the date. Let's say instead of going by the name, I want to go by type, which, PayPal based. So we select type, we see immediately the type list, everything related to that type list. Now, we'll total up for that search your total amount that you see. Let's say you want to go by account and you want to see bank fees. So select by bank fees. Now you're able to see, and like I said, you can do multiple searches. You can, select by the name and select by type and get all that results. Let's say you wanted to get report based by the bank type. So let's say we want to go by cash. Now you will see report based on bank type, bank account you used. So the last one are do not mess it. That's something related to, like I said, where I pulled the spreadsheet from cannot be deleted. If you delete that column, some of the features will stop working. So be careful with that. But that is how you would use your report section if you wanted to find something or look up something. You want to get, report based on certain activity, certain account or that. So this is where you would actually pull that. So I hope this sheet can actually make a difference in your business. It is free to use. There's no charge. All you have to do is just like I said, go to when you access this sheet, go to File, make a copy, and right now it's you have a copy on your account, and you pretty much go and add it and do whatever you need to do in that sheet. I know we're already into April, almost end of April, and there's a lot of catch up to do. I personally, I put in the information once a month. I don't do this on a daily basis, but at end of the day, it is your personal preference. You want to do it end of the year, but one thing I'll tell you up front: doing it end of the year, you will run into a situation where certain transactions you will have no clue what they were for. That's why, doing it on a at least on a monthly basis, you can have, better memory recall what transaction that was. If you having problem, recalling things, maybe you need to do on a weekly basis or even on a daily basis. All it is up to you, but you want to have a clear record of what it is. You want to have clear proof, something that 3 4 years down the road, if you ever get audited, you have enough of, records written maybe on a receipt or put in the quotations notes in the name section as you fill it out in your bank accounts. Like, give you an example. So AAA, and then, it's ABC and parentheses or quotations, something that will allow you to recall that situation and kind of give clear answer to your CPA or to IRS. Like I use a CPA out of Idaho. He's been my CPA for a long time. Their accounting firm carries attorneys on board. Those attorneys are the ones that would handle my situation if I would get to audit it. So I would never have to show up to IRS. I would actually send all the letter that I received from IRS to my CPA, explain the situation if anything needs to be explained, and him and the attorneys in the firm would actually handle everything else. And then, they'll come back and just kind of let me know, oh, everything taken care of, or you have to pay this or that or whatever the situation is. So definitely find a good CPA if you guys want contact information to CPA that I use. I can share that with you guys, and in a future video or in the comment section. So I hope this made sense. This, because you have to keep records somewhere, and you have to have records. And one of the things I probably would even, have copies of this, download it into Excel format and hold it on you know, a flash. Google very rarely have issues where I haven't heard of Google losing data yet, but it possibly can happen. I had my account hacked in the past where somebody deleted a huge amount of information. So Google doesn't lose it, but hacks can happen, and somebody might mess with the information. So definitely have some kind of a, you know, backup once a month or whatever the situation is, so you can actually have, that information. As long as the sheet is not deleted, you can always go into Let's Edit and actually recover the information if ever something happened to the information you need to have access to. So just, beautiful certain features of Google that allows you to be in control. I personally believe by keeping your records, if that day ever came where IRS came after you, you can be protected by having proof and evidence and saying, hey, I'm all good. You're chasing the wrong guy. So definitely, watch this video over if you need to watch it over multiple times, how many times you need to watch it, learn how to use it. I am not going to do an education how to use QuickBooks because I was using QuickBooks in the past, and one day, and I had to recover a certain year, and I forgot the password, and till today I do not know the password, and I have not been able to recover that year. So I learned my lesson, and to go to something more basic, I took a lot of the ideas from QuickBooks and created a spreadsheet. So, it's not as fancy as QuickBooks, but it does the job. That's all I really care, is the job is being done. So, uh, learn it, use it, and let it benefit you, and keep yourself protected from IRS, because that is your responsibility as a business owner to make sure you have the records. If I have missed something, or you guys have any questions, please comment under the video, and I will follow up either with a response or with another video, because I have a lot in my head. Is just not sure exactly what people need for me to make the content on. Another thing is, if you like the information, please like the video by hitting the thumbs up under the video. Also, please subscribe, because that helps me and YouTube knowing that I did a good job, as well as you able to see my future videos and being alerted when they come. Hit that bell so you can be notified. And let's together educate others. Let's together build up and show that we know what we're doing when it comes to this gig work, when it comes to our businesses. And let's be successful and focus on that bottom line. And by doing your records, you'll be able to see your bottom line. Be blessed and take care.